Can't wait to be hot. Okay.
Exile, are
I
you able to
am
screen
ready.
share?
Okay, you are now hot. You are hot and ready to go.
Fantastic. Welcome everyone to the Momentum Mod Showcase. You're going to hear a lot more about it, but we have a pretty big list of commentators for this, devs of the game and others. So feel free to introduce yourselves. We'll start with False.
Hi, I'm False. I organize the event and I do a bunch of work, particularly with the artwork on Momentum Mod. And I'm a big rocket jumper and stick jumper. Oh, we also have Exile, who's doing all the camera work right now, but she's not going to be talking.
All right, and Fingerprince as well.
Hey, yeah, I'm Tom, Fingerprince. I'm head of web dev on Momentum, and I do a bunch of the UI work as well.
And we have Gocnak.
Hi, I'm Nick, aka Gocnak. I'm the project and development lead of Momentum Mod. Excited to be back here this year to show off some more of the game, commentate, give some insight.
And Granis.
Hello, I am Granis. I am a big surfer and surf mapper, and I'm thrilled to host the surf and beyond portion of this, together with Manana.
And we've got Mac as well.
Hi, I'm mostly just level design and do a bit of tooling for Momentum Mod on the side.
And finally is Manana, who will be joining for most of it.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Manana. Like Granis said, I'm a surfer. Will be joining for the surf and b-hop content. Avid Momentum enjoyer, use it for testing and maps and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing this showcase here.
All right, well, I think we're all good to start it up then and get going. Someone want to count it down?
All right, I think I'll set up the people in the game, and we'll see. We'll start the race in just a few seconds.
Are we racing?
Yeah, we're racing. Back to the start.
So who should we be watching here? Who's the
Juve is
best?
good, and he's really good. All right, we can start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go. And here we see everybody jumping off at the same time.
And so funny seeing all the profile pictures of everyone jumping around.
Yeah, all these shapes just flying around everywhere.
So we can start off with introducing this map. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It is none other than Surf Utopia, created by Panzer all the way back in, I don't remember, it's like over 10 years ago now. And it is a classic. When you think of Surf, you think of this map. And it is highly contested because it's just so popular. And let's see who we have in front right now.
And the really funny thing is, isn't Panzer on the team now as well?
Yeah,
like after a decade.
Well over a decade, and Panzer is now a licensed developer on Momentum Mod and works on. He's been doing work on defrag. He's been doing a lot of tooling for the defrag maps. But yeah, he's also working on like a lot of the broad sort of new Momentum stuff and our zoning stuff.
Nice. We saw Nathan fell right at the end.
Saw a few people get at the end. I think Curtis and Juve both have finished the map now.
Yeah. Very
Maybe
cool.
We should talk about what Momentum is, just for anyone familiar or unfamiliar with what this whole game is.
Yeah, I could take that. Yeah, so Momentum Mod is a standalone source engine game that's aiming to centralize a ton of different game modes. So right now we're playing Surf, which for a lot of people This is probably the most common game mode that you've seen like in TikToks and stuff in the background. But yeah, you glide along triangles and you're using air acceleration to like accelerate through the map. And there's just beautiful maps that have been made over the course of like 2 decades. Oh, well over 2 decades now. And it's a very fun game mode, but there's more to Momentum, right? There's bunny hop. We're going to be doing some rocket jump and sticky jump, some defrag, which is all the way back from Quake 3. We have Conk, we have A-Hop from like Half-Life 2, which is my background. Yeah, it's amazing to see how far the game's come in terms of what we support, but it's all here, all for free, right? You don't have to play any multiplayer servers to play any map, so you can play literally whatever you want, whenever you want. And it's like just it could be a really nice mapping tool for a lot of mappers right now, but it's also going to be just we're aiming to make it like the one-stop shop for like a lot of these game modes and communities to compete and have the global leaderboards with lobbies and clans, and we have a lot of great stuff planned that's coming down the pipeline too. But yeah.
I mean, now might be a good time to talk about our multiplayer a little bit. As you can currently see, we have a lot of people on this map. We don't really have a conventional limit that most servers do, where you can normally get about 32 players into a multiplayer server. We do a peer-to-peer networking system that basically means anyone can put up a lobby for free. So no centralized servers. This is sort of a bit of a stress test for us. We've not ever done a lobby this large, I don't think, because we did just ping our entire Discord, which is resulting in quite a lot of people joining us.
We're doubling up.
Yeah.
We do technically support up to 250 in one lobby. That's like Steam's limit. But we've never actually tested with that many people. So this will be exciting to see how many people we can get before it just like falls apart.
You would move on to the next map.
Yeah, we can move on to Surf Kitsune, which is also an extremely popular map that you see on TikTok all of the time.
Oh yes.
But this one is special because I edited this map personally to have seamless world teleport or world portals. So there's no downtime when you go between the stages. And you can see all the way through, all the way from stage 1 to stage 4 from the start, which is not possible in Counter-Strike Source or CSGO, where you would usually play these maps.
It's the benefit of being licensed by Valve. We have access to Portal 2 and CSGO's source code, which allows us to implement portals and be based on like the engine that a lot of CSGO mappers are making their maps for. So we get kind of the best of all worlds. We can support the old maps for CSS, but also new maps and introduce world portals and things like that for new mapping opportunities. So you aren't limited to VScript or using really arcane like filters and stuff with normal triggers.
You can sort of tell it's happening here just by looking at the avatars, and they're sort of not really all in the position you'd expect them to be, because actually these stages here aren't actually in linear order. Like, it looks like you are as you play the map, but actually you're going through a world portal, which is actually teleporting you just seamlessly around the map. If you spec someone in NoClip, you can sort of see it. It's rather weird.
Yeah, but with that said, I think it's time to start off a race on this map. So, back to the start, everyone. And I will do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. And everybody jumping off at the same time. It's fun to just spectate someone in the back and see everyone in front. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
That's a good point. I was just gonna say we want to have like official racing or tournament modes in the game so that you can actually synchronize everybody being able to start at the same time and actually like compete to see who can beat it first or who could beat it fastest within a set time period.
Yeah, we also. Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying we also have that sort of recent development that Masag was working on with the map of the day tournaments. He's had one of those so far. That was really cool.
Yeah, the opportunity for just like fresh competition, daily, weekly, like we could do seasonal, like, based leaderboards and stuff like that, where we hand pick a bunch of maps, maybe introduce new ones specifically for the season. It's really exciting. Like we're really looking forward to seeing like the competition side of Momentum explode.
Especially with like control of all the UI and stuff that like a conventional game server doesn't. We get to do all this like really pretty race UI and get like way more control over the multiplayer side of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can talk a little bit more about the map in this version. Obviously, changing these teleporters to be seamless has a big implication on gameplay. I think Manana might have some comments on that. I don't know if you've tried the map yet.
Yeah, so the teleports on this map are awesome. The way that this is set up. We mentioned it before how the maps aren't actually in this sort of linear, just going through doors. They're actually teleports in between, and so you can see the start of the next stage before you actually reach it, just from the way that it gets displayed to you. And that alone is really cool and can help you set up for how you want to enter the next stage and everything, and make it feel a little more seamless than just a very sudden teleport into the next region of the map.
Yeah. I saw there's a big skip you can do on I think it's the purple stage, stage 7, something like that, where you don't even touch the platform, you go straight above, and it's almost impossible to do in the normal one, I think, unless you just go above because of the teleport how it's set up.
Right, yeah, it really helps you with lining yourself up or doing skips like that, being able to see what's actually through the teleporter rather than just a little blank square that you run into normally.
Yeah, so when I made this version, I actually talked to, or I spoke with Arblarg, the original mapper, and they were thrilled to see this be a possibility in the game. And so we're gonna talk with more mappers and see if they want to have edits like this on their maps as well. I think it could be sick.
Yeah, I think world portals as well. I mean, it's obviously not just limited to like connecting maps together like this, although it is really useful. Like in Jump, I can see this being really nice for levels that are all like disconnected, but also you can create really cool non-Euclidean kind of geometry.
Yeah, we have one surf map that really messes with that concept. It's made by Arc. It's Surf Antichamber, based on the game Antichamber. And while it's a really cool concept, I didn't want to showcase that map on here because it's very hard and extremely confusing to look at. Get a playtest key if you want to see that.
Yeah, last year we had Iron Moon, right? Is that the name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was
Because
the
that's
sticky
another thing I was
jump.
going to add is we also have entities, right? You can just kind of like in Portal, you can drop props or like companion clues or whatever through a portal. In Momentum, yeah, rockets and stickies and conks all work through portals.
Yeah, if you want to see some insane stuff, watch the Momentum mod showcase from last year as well. The Jump segment had one called Iron Moon that I think was the last one, or pretty much near the last, which is insanity.
Yeah. The map's not even like an easy map either. It's quite challenging.
Alright, do we want to hop over
Super
to the next map? Surf Beyond 2.
Oh, I wonder who made this map.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool. The mapper must be like the best mapper ever. The mapper, of course, is me. I made this. Well, I made this together with Bro, mapper friend of mine, and we have this concept with Surf Beyond where we have this beautiful looking skybox made by someone known as Mr. Who, and we just took this theme and made a map around it, like just slap textures on it, boom, done. But for the sequel, I wanted to go all in. So I put together these really trippy portals with the weird portal effect. And we stitched together a map that got very popular instantly. So we're gonna check this out. I think a lot of the surfers here have never seen this before, because it's so new and only limited to CSGO right now, where CSS is the more popular game to play in. On the more competitive side of things, at least. So we can get started with moving to the start platform. Oh, there we go. False already
let's
doing
do
it for me.
it.
Nice. Let's see. People jumping off. And while the first questions I got about this map is, are these the new momentum portals? And and no, this is made in CSGO, fully functional, and
They look really cool. I like
Yeah.
the effect when you go through
and
them.
the best part is, no, the cool thing is, because this is made for CSGO, I'm very limited in the space I have, like physically in the map file, because you only have like 32,000 by 32,000 units to work with, and this one takes up all the space you can horizontally. I can't cram any more horizontality into this. With momentum, using the world portals, we could get something like this that could look insane. That's why I wanted to showcase this.
Momentum we have on the bigger maps anyway, so
Oh,
you can
that-
fit a lot more in.
Yeah, that too. Momentum mod has an increased map size. You can just imagine the potential the mappers can have.
Yeah, if you're familiar with source maps and kind of like how big, or I guess how small they are, and how limited they are in terms of, especially surf, because everything just takes up so much space. In Momentum mod, because we've had engine access and
Some very good programmers.
yeah, there's some really talented programmers. We've been able to extend the limits how much by like.
It's four
It's like-
4 times on each axis, so the volume
Yeah.
64 times. But there's also every branch, every prop. A lot of stuff involving lighting. It was just
Yeah,
an absolutely enormous refactor of practically every part of the engine. I don't know, probably just sound system didn't get touched. Maybe it did. Like, yeah, it was
Sounds
so
nice.
much work. And but that was largely work of Exile, who is a really long-term source programmer and someone with just an absurd amount of knowledge and yeah, just fantastic to have in the team.
Yeah. Alright, we
Yeah.
have some people who have finished the map now. My guess is they already played it, because that was fast. Yeah, when making this, we took into account how new players would play it as well. So this should play really well for both beginners and veterans of the game. So we get some really good runs going. If you want, Exile, you can actually put on the world record as of right
Yeah,
now.
that would be a really good shout.
Yeah.
yeah. We could talk about the replay system.
Yes. I feel like Nick, this is your baby. Do you want to explain?
Yeah,
replays?
sure, absolutely. One of the more important aspects of competition is being able to prove that, you're as good as you say you are. So every run that you do and submit to our website is recorded via a replay system, and it does exactly what you think. It replays all of your inputs that you did during the run. But the nice thing about this, right, is that because we have full access over the game code, we can actually allow you to pause and jump around in the replay. And then we can even do more around like the metadata with the replay. So you can actually, see a run without any fails, or you could jump to specific stages and see how long specific stages take and stuff like that. But this system is really nice because if you're struggling on a specific stage, or you just really want to see how to do something or how the world record does something, you can very easily just hit tab in game and then pull it up and download it. And it's completely free. Like you get everybody's PB replays. And I mean, down the line, we really want to allow you to compare against like any run on this leaderboard, right? You want to like, you should be able to just pull up any of these replays and race them if you want to, or you could be able to, you know, just kind of like set it as like your comparison. So all of the UI that we have for like, you know, how fast you're going would compare against that run. We really want to make it like pretty streamlined for that. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature, and it's getting an overhaul soon in 0.11 to allow more stuff like the sticky bombs, rockets, and stuff don't currently show up in replays. So weapon state, stuff like that. We're gonna try to make them a little more efficient as well with how we store it. So that'll be fun. But
And if you're ever familiar with, again, normal like looking at replays or demos in Source, it is just an utter pain in to try and look at someone else's run. You have to like go through this whole process, and going from that to Momentum Mod system, the first time I tried it, it was just like, it was so good that I basically I can go back to Tier 2.
And I just want to emphasize that like we've got replays here, but also like, I mean, leaderboards. Like every run that you're doing on this map gets submitted to our website and then submits that replay. So it really is every run. It's not just that other people can view the replay, but it actually can confirm to us that it's not cheated, right? Which is a really big aspect of it. But also, like, we are all in a big multiplayer lobby here, but you do not have to be. Like, we're not all connected to some shared game server. This is peer-to-peer, so we're like, you can just hop on your own, play whatever map whenever, and just pick a map, submit a run, and it's going to submit the replay, put it on the leaderboard, as long as you have an internet connection.
Indeed.
And that's, I guess, one of the more important aspects too to note is that the tying it to a multiplayer server limits you so much with how many people could play at once, what maps being played at the, you know.
Rock
So
the vote.
we rock the vote to ruin your run that you're doing. So we're pulling it out of that and making it its own game, which allows you to just do kind of whatever you want whenever you want, right? Like, we really want to give that power back to players to be able to grind like whatever they want without having to pay for like a private server or anything like that. It's all going to work, it's all going to submit, and it's all, you know, it's all very easy to find too via the UI.
And yeah, as someone in chat just said, zero ping, which is kind of the biggest thing. You can be playing Rocket Jump on, you know, a terrible internet connection. Doesn't matter. You will have zero ping the whole time, because fundamentally, Momentum is sort of a single-player game with multiplayer as an extra bonus thing, as with other Source Engine games where multiplayer is really fundamentally multiplayer. The server is somewhere else.
Can we move on to the next map?
Yeah, I think we should move on.
Yeah,
We're
moving
gonna
on
be
to
up
the
next.
B-Up segment. So the first B-Up map we're going to be playing is B-Up Badges Mini. It's a map we just added to the game, specifically for this event, because it's a mini version of a very classic map that I hope people enjoy. And we'll see how people do on it. Let's see.
Who do we want to be spectating for B-Hop?
I know Vanish is in here.
That's pretty good.
No, I'm really bad. Right, someone's playing Rocket Jump.
We can talk about that. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll get to that, yeah. But yeah. My counting is down. 3, 2, 1, go. And look at him go. So I honestly don't
this
know.
is B-Hop. It's mode originally from Counter-Strike Source. Does this have a CS 1.6 community?
Yeah, well, ours is based off of Counter-Strike Source, but I mean, there's B-Hop in sort of so many games have a variant of B-Hop, but this is one's the best.
Yeah, this one is the best.
It's
For
based
sure.
on Counter-Strike Source. Main way you gain speed is just using your strafe keys and strafing left and right like you would in any Source game, but with much higher acceleration. I don't actually know what the number is. It's like 1,000 in B-Hop, is it? Rather than 10, which is usually the default in most Source games, so it's quite a lot higher.
Yes. And this map is interesting because it starts out very simple, with just platforms and some tighter jumps, and it gets slightly harder as you go. And then it starts introducing new mechanics like big B-up platforms that shoot you high up, and also shoot boosters, which the map lets you pick up a gun and shoot a certain part of a wall to get a boost in that opposite direction, which is a very cool gimmick that a lot of maps have started using.
Very
And,
cool gimmick.
yeah, I mean, it is a gimmick.
Yeah.
And loads of that's obviously something we're gonna keep doing in this. And I see some surfers struggling here on the first shoot booster because they're not used to it.
It's quite
such a
claustrophobic coming from playing surf to this.
Yeah, that too. But if we're... Oh, I see Juve just beat it. But there's this one part where you need to shoot the platform underneath you to get a boost up, and then the platform behind you to go forward. And the surfers are just dumbfounded. Oh yeah, they don't... Oh yeah, they don't have a shoot bind.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so funny.
Often surfers will use their like mouse 1 key as a turn bind, which is something that sort of rotates you super fast. Some surf maps is very useful, especially because surfers tend to find a very low mouse sensitivity. Whilst it usually in B-Hop you don't need a shoot bind either. I mean, there aren't many maps with guns in, but this is a sort of interesting case of you do actually need a attack 1 key.
Yeah, it's
I
really
like
fun to
that
see.
that shoot mechanic. Do a lot of B-Hop maps have that, or is it just like a small handful?
I think it's a handful, but...
It would be great to see more, and I mean, surf maps could do it, and like, I think, don't you get a pistol in like sticky jump as well now? You just
You
do it in that.
do, for some reason.
But for us, it's often a sort of annoying edge case. These maps that have guns in, partly because it means more modeling sometimes. Like, there's this kind of in some, I think B-Hop maps. There's a few B-Hop maps that have a scout, which is like the sniper rifle, Counter-Strike Source. Which for us is quite annoying because it means we kind of need a sniper rifle model. Our current sniper rifle model is awful, and you know, weapon models take quite a long time. Ethan Pulse here can talk on that. He's our lead 3D artist.
Yeah, I've probably spent like over 100 hours or something on our upcoming sniper railgun model.
Yeah.
But it's coming very soon.
So we will have a sniper rifle, but it's actually going to be a railgun, which is just a sniper with a trail. So
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of model, I think the hands were different last year as well.
Were they still the Gordon Freeman arms?
Oh,
Yeah, the Gordon arms.
So yeah, this is our player model style was
Sorry,
going to
Tom.
be, futuristic sci-fi robot-looking character with, just some very basic features. We've currently only got the arms rigged up properly.
We're focused on
As you
few
can see, they're still
models.
just shapes.
Yeah, I mean this is a volunteer project, so it's hard to get a lot done really quickly. But we have been working on some really cool player model progress. And,
you're changing the third-person models from what they are?
Yeah. So the little random shapes are surprisingly they are placeholder. We won't be keeping them forever, but yeah. Hopefully we'll have that by the next Fangames. So you get arms this year, you'll get a body next year.
Maybe a leg or two at least.
Okay, the next map's an interesting one.
yeah.
Are we doing this one?
Yeah, let's do this
gotta
one.
do it.
We should do it. I don't know if we want to do it in reasonable amount of time. I think we do need to watch someone that knows it, presumably.
No, because that
This
takes the
might
fun
be
out of it.
An hour. I spent an hour on this.
It took me 40 minutes.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
No, but it's so funny.
This is made. Oh, I guess.
Vanish knows it.
Okay. So this map is made by Road Deceiver Organ Master, aka Rody, who's great and has been doing a lot of really interesting experimental work on B-Hop maps. we have got a lot of new entities and things, such as like world portals, collectibles, stuff like that, that most mappers don't really use because they're only available in Momentum. You know, Momentum's still in playtest, like we're not finished yet. So a lot of mappers don't want to make something just for Momentum. Fortunately, Rhodey is one of these weird people that will just make stupid maps like this just for Momentum, but you could never port to another game because. Yeah. Should we fix Excel's video settings very quickly?
Oh.
Oh, is there something?
Excel, go to settings and then video, missing textures, and put default error texture appearance to gray.
I think
And
these
then-
are models, so I don't think that works.
Oh, okay.
I think
Hold on.
they're.
Download
Color
CSS real quick.
Color,
Go down
and the color accurate replacements should also be on, I believe. Unless there's something else there.
Right. We can start this one, and
Colored and special overrides, and then set it
To
to
reload.
something else.
Is it a big deal on this map?
nah,
I think
it should be
I don't
fine.
think any map is going to be majorly affected by it.
It's intentional, alright? It's
Yeah,
working as
intentional.
intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's
Yeah.
broken, I guess.
Yeah, but we can get a countdown going, and we can spectate me to start it off, and I'll just show what the gimmick of the map is, and we'll see how far we go. And there we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So we start off with pressing the button. Oh, I think I missed it. It's not opening up.
Oh no, everyone's been trapped in the void.
Wait. Oh, okay.
I
This
don't
is
know if
also-
it'll even work through spec. We don't have entity interactions.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me just skip. Okay, I skipped forward a little bit. Nobody saw. All
We're
right.
in Minecraft now.
Well,
Yeah, we're playing Minecraft. So we need to get through this wall, which has TNT in it. So I think we need to get the iron. And I think there's the. Oh, I fell down.
I have never seen this map before.
I think there's a flint and. No, wait. We need a flint and steel. I think that's over here. Yeah,
What
flint and
is-
steel in the cave. Flint,
Uh-huh.
iron ingot. And then we put that in the crafting table. Oh, that's perfect. And then, we need to activate the redstone timer. There's a pressure plate right here.
Look, okay. The thing we need to comment here is that with the way Momentum's multiplayer works, right, is basically we don't have a fully synced up server. So an entity that one player interacts with, where an entity is just sort of something in the map, that's not mirrored to other people. We basically just like network their movement and a bit of other stuff like rockets and things. So you'll see Granis walk through walls here because Exile is spectating Granis, and so yeah. The only way for this to look good would be for Exile to be playing the map. And that's kind of just a trade-off we make with, you know, our multiplayer system. But, I mean, this map would just not be possible in multiplayer otherwise, really, because, like, you know, someone has already gone through and done the Minecraft section before you even get to it, you know?
I'm stuck.
You're playing
Right, this one-
Minesweeper? What is this?
So it looks like people have cheated here by painting.
Oh.
No, wait, down. No, I'm
I don't
I'm
know if that's
cheating.
cheating. I think that's,
I'm
that's just
cheating.
like,
All right, now it lights up with the
You can mark a board on Minesweeper.
yeah, right?
Okay. I may have cheated.
Oh my god, you have to avoid the bombs.
Right.
That's so funny.
Very funny. All right, and now we have our favorite game mechanic coming up right here. Maths
Matt!
Oh, that's easy.
in my video game.
Come on.
How dare. Alright, I think I know maths. Let's see if I can do this under pressure.
I have a really embarrassing replay on this map because I misread that first one, and I was just standing there, like, not knowing it. For like a
Yeah.
minute.
Did any of
21
you
is
happen
not-
to see the Mario World blind race?
I didn't know.
The final boss was like a slide puzzle, and they were complaining about putting math in the game.
Oh god.
I like that the maths in this map kind of ramps up as well. It's good.
Wait.
Derivatives? Oh.
I haven't done the
Oh.
derivatives in so long.
It's 2.
Yeah, it's just 2.
It's 2.
Yeah.
I
The-
spent
the-
less time on this stage than the first one. The like, what is, 2 plus 4 or whatever.
All right.
Think of it in terms of rotations around a circle, Granis.
Rest in peace, any of the like middle school kids that are gonna play this.
Yeah, but if Euler plays it, I mean,
Would
he's
not
going to be the
Yeah.
My guess is 1. I don't know.
Oh,
But
it's
okay,
0.
It's 0. Yeah, yeah,
Are you just trapped there?
I think so.
You have to restart the whole thing.
That's
No.
hilarious.
No, I got out. Completely.
Alright. What is
Isn't this
happening?
just a
Why are there
beat-up
numbers in
playground?
this guy?
What's
Yeah.
this?
I really like. I mean, this map. Making maps with this can be an expression of personality, and like humor. And this does, demonstrate Rhodey to be a
Oh,
idiot.
wait. I need to find 3.
I really want to see more of these like kind of
Mhm.
silly adventure type games.
Yeah, and we can
Right.
talk about another momentum thing here, in that we will. Most momentum maps, or at least a lot of them on the leaderboard, will be ranked, right? So you'll gain ranked points for beating maps, and those will contribute to like an overall ranked leaderboard. However, we will, and we've been discussing this a lot lately, we're much more willing nowadays to be doing a lot more unranked maps. Stuff that you can just play for fun, that have a leaderboard where they won't get ranked points. And so this is a sort of classic map where, like, we really want this to be on the maps later so people can play it, and to encourage maps to make it. It's just, obviously, we don't really want people to compete over this, like who can do the Minecraft section fastest. But
Wait, 3.14.
I mean, why not? Why not let people compete on Minesweeper?
There's another
well,
3.
they'll be able to compete. They will have a leaderboard, but it won't contribute to that overall
Oh,
game rank.
3.1.
Yeah.
I get it.
This section here is actually partially stolen, by the way, from Ninja Cookie's Learn section for B-Hop. Or maybe it's just modelled off that, but...
Yeah, I was gonna
it's not the
say
same
it looks.
geometry. It's got a couple of the same sort of
Okay.
obstacles,
Yeah,
but
this
the layout is completely different.
How did you get
Granis,
up on the roof?
Granis, this will take you a long time, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just pretend you've collected all of the numbers.
How to do that? Wait. Here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, you did it! You collected pi.
Amazing. Good job.
Wow. Oh, now we're doing.
Another
This is a
copyright infringement.
Roblox.
Yeah, now we're doing Be Up Lego, but falling down.
So the gimmick of this area is if you fall too fast and hit the floor, it resets you back to the start like you've taken full damage. So you have to purposefully try and land on objects
I'm
that
glad
aren't too far down.
Glad we've added fall damage back in.
Yeah, we don't have a health system, so it's not like we actually have a fall damage system. This is all just done by determining your falling speed, and if you're falling too fast, it just kills you.
Okay. Oh, and it's okay because it's. Wait.
Hold the space button.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so we have a cheat in this where you can hold space to skip through everything.
I feel like a version of this using portals that screws with you horizontal. Vertical.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh. I'm getting confused just to do this. Wait. Where's this?
This is
This is some more examples of world portals, by the way.
Oh. Let's go. How does that work though?
You've got 4 more minutes.
Oh yeah. Doing.
Oh, good. More
yeah.
portals. Good.
Oh, more portals. These are fun.
So again, all this sort of stuff with the crazy sort of momentum handling and the way you get flung around, this is just standard portal
And to wrap the Be Up section up, we could take a look at the record of Be Up Parallel, maybe. And won't do a race of it because it might take long, but... Wait, I just messed up.
Yeah, Parallel's a good example of a map with portals that don't make you feel overly nauseous.
Yeah. So let's
We
do
can
that.
put it out or not.
Let's hop over to Be Up Parallel. Made by a
Oh, this is-
fellow team member.
It's Traz's map. Traz, a fellow, Momentum Mod team member, does a lot of the media stuff for us.
And UI design. So a lot of the UI
Yeah.
in this game is designed by Trez. He does mock-ups, and then programmers like me, Ray, BLT primarily have done the implementation of it, but a lot of the general styling is all Trez.
I don't think
Yeah,
the world
let's do
record
the
is point
30
zero, which
32. Yeah,
That's
32 second run by Chuck. Should be good.
there are a few cheated runs right now. It's not a big deal. We're going to be wiping time soon. There's just been some exploits,
Oh,
as
yeah.
does happen in testing.
Okay, this is also not a legit run. I just used a jetpack there somehow. Like, no what the heck is.
Again, for us, cheated
incredible.
runs don't really mean anything. They're just... We will have anti-cheat at release. Part of the reason that we're not releasing the game right now, among all the other things that aren't finished, is we don't have anti-cheat, so people can do this.
Also, the exploits people are using have been patched out as we go.
Yeah, there's still some really good ones that are still in the game.
Oh, nice. Oh, so this guy is zooming through the map. So the gimmick is go through the colored portal to activate that colored block. And it gets really trippy playing it yourself, and looking at the World Record replay is just... It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense when you watch it. And they skipped a bunch of stuff right there. Yeah, I'm not that
Just
good
a
at
really
that.
great looking map as well. I really like having a map that has all these portals and stuff and all that quirky stuff, but also just looks really good.
Yeah.
But you might be able to guess how this is made. This is essentially, I think, 6 rooms, all separate from one another, but just portals connecting them. So each, 6 different variations where one color is like actually filled in, and all the rest are the wireframe versions.
Yep. So it's a very simple to pull off thing, but it just looks so cool, and you can do
Oh
more
no.
stuff with it.
Alright, we're going to be moving on to
From loss.
defrag next.
Yes.
The end of the Surf and B-Hop segment.
I'm interested to see how defrag has progressed since last time.
Oh my god, there have been so many
It's progressed
changes.
a lot.
And with that of the Surf and Be Up section, we might say goodbye to Manana.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on, you guys. It's really cool to see this project for over the last several years come up to this point, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me. I'll see y'all around.
Bye.
Have a good
Yeah.
one.
Who wants to introduce defrag then?
That was a good question.
I think
Mac?
Mac's probably the most...
Yeah, so defrag is from Quake 3 originally. So it's a mod of that game. So we've recreated a mod of an old game, which is pretty cool. But yeah, there's 2 physics modes. One is just vanilla Quake 3 behavior, basically. But then there's another mode that sort of incorporates a bunch of other Quake games mechanics to spice it up a bit. So it's a blend of Quake 3, Quake 1, and some Quake 2 features all mashed together. And that mode's called CPM, and that's what we're going to be playing today. We're starting on just a basic strafe map here.
Alright, yeah, let's
We're on
go
the
to
right- This is before I woke up.
Sure.
Yeah, we should start with the basic maps first before
I
moving on
guess
to the
that makes sense,
crazy
yeah.
stuff.
So there are like two kind of like types of defrag with VQ3 And CPM, is it?
Yeah, so this is CPM. There's a lot more air control, a lot more freedom in your movement. But yeah, this is what we'd call a strafe map. Defrag has weapons as well as just the basic, really intricate movement mechanics of basically the bunny hopping of Quake 3. And you can see them doing that here with the forward and left or right strafe keys at the same time, and then placing their mouse in the correct position on the screen. There's an indicator that you should be able to see pop up. The blue bar. It might look a bit odd if you've never played Defrag before, but it's just kind of like a helper that shows you where you need to be looking to gain speed. We're
So
watching
on
Game of
stream-
the Year right now, and I think that he might have the world record currently for this map, or was fighting for it for a very
It
long
says he
time.
has world record 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, but
he got it.
also in Quake 3 as well. Goblin has been fighting
I
for this map
see.
for a long time with Anne. They've sort of just been back and forthing the world record for a long time.
Yeah.
We might still have it, or it might have been stolen.
And I just want to comment on that like, it is so exciting being able to do a mode like Defrag, something like very historic that's been around for like 2 decades. You know, having so many players come from that mode and try Momentum out, and generally I've had really positive feedback, and we've had a lot of people say that they're really happy with the direction Momentum's going. There's been a lot of different sort of Quake 3 clones over the year, and sort of some of those have sort of racing modes and stuff, and it's been so great having all these Defrag players come over and like actually play the game a lot. Like, these Goblin and Anna, like seriously good runners, and this is Goblin here, right? Game of the Year. It's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've noticed, the map name is a bit of a mouthful. It's DFWC 2017-6. Not the easiest thing to remember, but it's very descriptive of what it is. This map was made for I think it's like biannual Defrag World Cup. Like roughly every 2 years, they run this big competition with brand new maps with tons of routing options, with a decent prize pool at the end for whoever gets the best times over 8 maps, I think. And you play each map for a week, and after you've submitted your time for that week, you move on to the next map.
I also just want to comment that
No, go on.
I was just going to say that like Defrag itself could easily be a whole segment in this stream, like the
Absolutely,
Defrag
yeah.
game. Like Defrag is players played it for years. Like has all its own tournaments and stuff, and could fully be a Fangame Marathon whole segment, like playing the base game.
Yeah, that's the thing with like pretty much every game mode in Momentum Mod, is that there's so much history behind every single game mode, and just the amount of time that players have spent mastering each of their own individual games. And we're just putting it all together into like one big platform, but there's just like Jump, Surf, B-Hop, they can all take up an entire like 2 hours by themselves.
And it's what's making me so excited for release, because like who's gonna be good at like all of the modes, right? Like that's what I want to see is when we do like Momentum tournaments or something like that, where it's like multiple game modes, or like even all of them too, right? Like you have to be good at like kind of every game mode to be like win those tournaments or something. Like that's what I'm really excited for. But
There are already a
it's
few
amazing.
people who like are pretty good at like surprisingly good at multiple, but like I don't think anyone's like top of the line in like every single thing, just because there is so much to learn in each game mode.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the
a
good
lot
thing
of-
about if you come from other Source games, right? A lot of these games share the
Yeah.
same mechanics just because it's based on the same engine, or is at least like tangentially connected to the Source engine,
Mm-hmm.
like this Defrag mode is. So a lot of the
One
skills
thing-
are just transferable.
One thing that I really like about Momentum Mod is what you were saying, and it's kind of like the reason Fangame Marathon exists to begin with, is like bridging the different communities
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
So by like, putting it all
Yeah.
in one game, you're bringing them all together in one one package that's like good for everyone, and it invites people to try out new things they haven't tried before and check out other
Yeah.
communities.
And
Yeah.
teaching too in the game, like having a learn section. We can talk a bit about that too. We want people to be able to go from like very minimal first-person platforming experience to like good, at these modes.
Mhm.
So having, a learn section to go through all the mechanics of the game and like what you'll see in the maps is really important for us. To be, that's in my opinion the most important thing for the success of Momentum. Because it's one thing to get like all of the usual crowd in, but like you got to get new players into these modes somehow and teach them how to show them the ropes more than just a YouTube video could, really, right? We have opportunity to do that, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's been really hard trying to figure out how people want to learn surf the best. But we're gonna do it.
That is kind of a thing with all the modes, is these modes are hard. Like, I think sort of surf especially, stuff that like, is it, even getting off like the first ramp, you need to like actually get the sort of basics down, but like, anything that was like bee hopping and stuff and like decent movement, like, it has quite a high skill curve, and that's something that as devs, like, we're thinking about all the time, and it's quite overwhelming sometimes, just,
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can sink 1,000 hours into every game mode and still not be good. It takes a lot of time to.
I've got
A lot of time and
in
effort.
surf, and I'm like a tier 4 surfer. I'm pretty crap.
Yeah. And I've surfed for like, what is it now, 10, 14 years? No, yeah, 13, 14 years. And I've had one world record that Marble took from me a few weeks ago.
Oh. I know that feel.
But for me, it's like a game dev, if I can call myself that. Like, this is what makes me so excited, is like stuff that has relatively simple mechanics that can have so much playability, right? And I think these kind of modes, sort of like first-person movement modes, sort of intrinsically have so much depth to them, because with mouse and keyboard and stuff, and these like digital inputs of a mouse, like there's just so much complexity to it, and like the skill ceiling is just so ludicrously high. But, I mean, it's sort of the same as sort of all aspects of speedrunning, a lot of other stuff on Fangames, right? But yeah, to work on a game like that is just so thrilling.
Oh yeah, and we should also point out that these maps don't natively work in Momentum Mod. These are Quake 3 maps, so we've had to build a tool that basically edits the lump data in the BSP file to work in our version of the source engine, which is why there's a couple visual glitches here and there on this map, because the tool is work in progress. We're still actively developing it, but we thought we'd add this map anyway, even with the couple of visual glitches that are around, because this is just such a classic map, and it plays fine, other than looking a bit weird in places.
But also just the fact that we can convert the map between engines at all. Like, I mean, it's reliant on the fact that the Quake 3 engine and Source is like they're relatively similar, but like it's still a really exciting technical achievement. It's mostly due to Panzer, who was actually the author of Surf Utopia we were playing earlier, but also Max been doing some work on it. It's Max been getting into programming for that. Babby's first full loop was on this project. On
It was, yeah.
Not Lumber, sorry, on BSP converter.
I see Panzer on Steam playing Momentum Mod like every day.
Shall we move on to kickflip?
Yeah, sure thing. A kickflip, a much newer map than Defrag World Cup. This year. Yeah, pretty recent. This is a map made by Ninja Cookie, who is also a team member. And it features weapons, which show off in a sec.
Yeah, we've got a couple of defraggers here to spec. We've got Jod, Lankaloy, Crazy Al.
Yeah, don't
Any of
expect
these
me, I have
people should
no
be
idea
able
what I'm
to
doing.
know what they're doing.
I just saw myself on stream.
Do you want to talk about some of the weapons that are featured in Defrag?
Yep, so starting off on this map, you pick up the plasma gun, which is like a rapid fire rocket launcher with very little knockback. But, you know, just rapidly hitting yourself with small amounts of knockback to travel distances. And then you've got your standard rocket launcher. Self-explanatory. Slower firing, bigger explosion, more knockback. And then coming up at the end of this map, just around this corner, is the BFG, which is the big rocket launcher that fires super quickly, get tons of knockback. Basically, can levitate with it, it fires so quickly.
God, I'm so happy to see weapons finally in the defrag mode.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Solid run, first attempt. But yeah, this is another map. This is by Ninja Cookie, who is on the Momentum Mod team. A really big emphasis on making a map that pretty much anyone can play. You can technically walk to the end of this map, but then with the weapons and all of the routing, this map is really difficult to actually do quickly. Gives you tons of options though, which is good fun to try and figure out, you know, which way's the best.
There's also those nice slide platforms, those on the blue.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Defrag has a weird mechanic with zero friction floors in CPM at least. Because the ground acceleration is so high when you're on zero friction floors and you turn with your A and D strafe keys, you just gain a ton of speed super quickly. So whenever they're on those blue shiny platforms and turning corners, that's because the floors are slick and they have super high ground acceleration.
I thought I was going fast, and then Crazy Owl flew right past me.
Yeah. I try and play defrag, and I think I get like decent runs, and I'm like a minute and a half slower than everyone else.
Yep.
It's not even close. And the map's like 20 seconds long.
Yeah, we're seeing people try. It's always a pleasure to see like people try defrag or conk or these other modes that they might not have really heard of, and just start to get like really into it or really good at it too. Like, it's amazing to see that.
They're also kind of basically where it began,
Yeah.
so it's like cool to see the history of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the community interacting as well is just funny. Like, it's great. But, you know, seeing the defraggers and b-hoppers all sort of, you know,
Game mode war.
pleasantly, yeah, gamer war. It's just really funny.
The please play conks. And the please play defrag. Actually, I think it's more just play defrag. These kind of demand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, defraggers
That is vicious. But it is genuinely great, as I think, especially with Conk and Defrag, because it's sort of more recent modes we've added, but like also like really established and been around for ages and ages. Having players from those modes come over to Momentum and like actually play it and get really into it is like just great and really genuinely quite humbling that people like it enough, you know, given like how beloved those games are to them. Like, yeah. And I do just want to give a quick shout out to Lumia, who's our primary dev doing the actual implementation of defrag. He's put so much work into it in the last couple of years, and yeah, it just seems like he's been doing a great job, and it's been so nice to work with.
Yeah. As a surfer, I love this type of map because you don't get open maps with routing like this in surf.
Yeah.
It's the same when watching B up. It's just crazy the routing opportunities. And with the proper implementation of the sliding mechanic, we can kind of get there in surf as well. Which is gonna be really cool to see. The surf mappers have been trying to replicate sliding in a bunch of different ways, and the best way currently is just setting gravity to 0.
Really?
Yeah, or sliding along a ceiling with negative gravity. CS:GO finally has a thing called trigger soft barrier that kinda makes you slide. You still fall down. So
Can we move on to
momentum's
the
really
next
well.
map?
You want to, yeah. We allocated quite a bit of time, so I guess we could play an
Yeah.
extra map.
Do we know which one we want to go to? Position 2? It's quite hard, but
We could keep on the weapon maps, yeah, and then go
Yeah.
back to a strafe map after. Sure. Mac declares it. Let's go to position 2.
yeah, this map. People haven't had as much time to practice on this map. This hasn't been in the game very long. We added it today, a couple of hours ago, so might see some very rusty runs to start with. But I believe in people.
If it's anything like Precision 1, then I'm done for.
I think this is harder than Precision 1 in my opinion. Precision 1's a bit more like on rails. This has more options, which makes it a lot more confusing.
Okay, I'm watching Al. Al clearly knows what he's doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll play
Yeah.
this.
I was watching him stream earlier today and he was practicing a bit, so that's good.
It is such a relief that we have BSP convert for like all second version of this stuff. Defrag would be such a nightmare without it, but the fact we have a tool that can pretty much in like, you know, just a few seconds just convert a BSP to working source, it's crazy.
I'm just really enjoying watching this gameplay. I don't have much to say.
Yeah.
It do
Yeah,
be
this map
one
has a
those
bit of
maps.
everything. It's got launch pads, it's got slick, it's got rockets, plasma.
Yeah.
Even has something called quad that's coming up later, which just boosts your damage, so you take more knockback. We'll see if we make it that far on a clean run, but this map is very difficult.
Just on like on what you said even about like how watchable these maps are, like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
for me like such a big appeal of pretty much all of these modes are just watching like Twitch streams of people play it, stuff like that. Like, you know, I love
Absolutely.
watching surf streams like of just really good surfers. It's just like there's just something like really, I don't know, yeah, satisfying about it. And like, yeah, whilst like this is kind of a single player game, obviously we got the momentum lobbies and stuff, but also yeah, just in the age of Twitch and live streaming, like it's a great game just for streams.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have a grenade launcher. So usually the grenades would be on a timer for about 3 or 4 seconds until they explode, but there's certain surfaces that if you shoot them you can force the grenade to explode immediately, so it kind of behaves like a rocket launcher.
Ooh.
And now we have quad rockets. You see how much speed he's getting off these rockets? Because
6k
it has
units.
more damage, yeah. It's actually ridiculous how much more knockback you take when you have the quad power up.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is just so nice how effortless everything looks when you have people who are good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Things
there's definitely
just-
like an art of making combo maps as well, of just making everything
Yeah.
flow together. So combo maps are weapons, a combination of weapon and strafe. So most weapons are used on this map. There's some strafe sections, so we call them combo maps. And yeah, they just really flow super nicely when they're made well.
I just realized this map has ammo in some parts, and I'm now stuck.
I've barely seen like half the weapons. It's crazy that Lumi's been able to make so much progress and get all these in.
Yeah, we're missing the lightning gun.
Yeah,
If you've played Quake 3,
and-
you might know that lightning gun doesn't actually have any uses other than being a something to shoot buttons with, maybe. But in Quake 3 defrag mod, for some reason, they decided to just add a ton of knockback to the lightning gun. So we're trying to recreate that, but the defrag source code is a bit of an enigma, and trying to get all the values right is difficult. So the lightning gun's been delayed a little bit, trying to just figure all that stuff out.
You try to set up a sink? Oh,
Somebody showing off.
Sure looked like it.
All right. All right there.
Oh, it's so noisy.
Yeah.
It's like there's like construction work going on outside.
The sounds are all very much work in progress as well.
Yeah.
And all the volume sliders are currently a bit disjointed,
Yeah.
so you try and turn down the volume of everyone else's weapons and it just doesn't work at the moment, so, you know, alpha
Hey, if you-
gameplay. It's
If
what
you do sound
expect.
design, hit us up. We would absolutely appreciate some sound design help.
I mean, if we are allowed to plug that a little bit with anyone that is interested in doing sound, animation, web programming, that'd be good. We could do more of those.
Yeah.
This is all volunteer project, and we'd love to get more people involved. Just check us out.
How many
check out
people
our
do you
Discord.
have at this point, like volunteering?
I mean, people sort of come and go a bit, but I mean, sorry, is that Nick? Do you wanna? You should.
Oh
answer
yeah,
this,
it's around like 20 to 30. It kind of fluctuates between those, but it's yeah. As people get more and more busy with real life stuff, they kind of fade out, and have to take a leave, or sometimes straight up just have to leave the project. And but no, it's a really great team. I mean, there's no pressure to work on the game. Like I try to not pressure any of the team members because I know it's all passion based. So the best we're gonna get is just when people have the free time and the passion to work on it. So, but this is what we've gotten so far from the game, and we're always looking for more help as people find the game and are like, hey, I know how to make sounds or make textures or map. How can I help? And we are looking for it. Like we appreciate literally all the help we can get on making this game, because we're even like development too, like our website, we have a lot of open source repositories that people could help develop, and of course any contribution towards the game gets a key, but like it's just awesome to see just people coming in and helping out in all aspects, right? The team contributing on GitHub, donating maps or assets and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Apparently Manana just got a world record.
Yeah, Nate's an XP.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this as well is we have a bunch of old school defraggers hopping on and playing our game, and then we have a bunch of just source engine players that have picked up defrag and got really good at it within like the year that defrag's been a thing in this game. Nathan is one of the source players that's just picked up defrag and has got pretty good at it.
So fast.
He's probably got the record on this map.
Very good, he says.
Wow.
Oh, look at that backward strafing.
Is that another one?
Oh lord, unstoppable. Okay. What map do we want to go to after this?
We go to another strafe map to ease people's ears a bit, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Are we
Yeah.
still on defrag, or I think we're?
Yeah. How much time
Yeah,
are
we
we
could
at?
do.
I think
We're
shoot
good on
something
time,
to-
but we could do one more map.
Okay, we'll do bull strafe.
Full strafe, full strafe.
Yeah.
Alright. Tell the people.
Also, you briefly mentioned XP. Do you want to touch on that more?
Yeah, sure. So XP, the way that Momentum's going to like track progress, right? We have two systems planned currently. The first one's a more cosmetic XP system and level system that also ties in with the cosmetic store that we're going to have. So you'll be able to customize, weapons, models, and so on through an in-game cosmetic store that you unlock everything just by playing the game. So cosmetic XP, cosmetic levels, right? That all goes towards it. And then on the other side, right, we have the ranked leaderboard. So ranked maps, Tom touched on this earlier, where we have maps and like tracks on the maps that are ranked, and the completing that and doing better gets you more rank points. So it's your overall, like, that's for kind of just the overall game mode that you're playing. And that's just how good you are, right? So rank is like how good you are, and then cosmetic XP or levels, right, is across every mode. It's global for the entire game, and it's just how much you've played Momentum. And, these systems can really be a good gauge as to, like, first of all, for cosmetics, for showing off in lobbies and in replays, but also just kind of a good gauge of, like, how much you played Momentum, if you're the real deal or not. But I'm really excited for that, because I think it's adding another layer. I know some servers have kind of like a little tag that goes in front of your name when you type in chat or something like that, but we can go even further, right? You can get kind of like trophies that show on your profile and on your and that shows up when people look at your stuff on leaderboards or something like that. Like we can really emphasize like your skill or your passion, and with the cosmetics you can really express yourself with what kind of game modes or like what kind of person you are, right, through that. So it's an exciting other layer that kind of helps either gamify a lot of like playing a lot of the game, or playing already a video game, but also just like trying to give you something to work towards. Whether it be a cosmetic in our store that you can go and like save up the cosmetic like currency units for, or a rank point trophy that you're working towards. Which Weasley are you, or whatever that we end up choosing?
Can't believe you just
Such an
spoiled
inside
that.
joke.
What the heck?
Yeah. So I'm really excited to get these systems in place and see how how well it works together, and just if it's the right kind of 1-2 punch of like, because when you're grinding for runs you'll get cosmetic XP, right? But if you're just kind of playing the game, we can cater to people that are just going for like, oh, I just want to beat every map, I don't really care how good I am. So you get the cosmetic and leveling side for that and cosmetics, right? But then for the people that are like, I want a top 10 every single map in this mode, that's what the rank system is really going to be aiming for.
Do you plan to have like custom trails like in some of these game modes they usually have?
Trails, that's a good question. Trails might be a little bit
no to trails.
Yeah.
Just
They
they're a little
do tend to be
obnoxious.
quite obnoxious, yeah.
they
They
can be
are.
obnoxious. That's the main thing, is just like we don't want things that people will immediately just toggle off locally. We want to make sure that people are like seeing the things you've unlocked. So trails being more on the annoying side would kind of be not the best choice, but we could. I mean, it's always a possibility. We're really going to focus more on just models and like just kind of the like core gameplay mechanics, or core gameplay components first, rather. So weapon models, player models mainly, and then just starting to branch out from there of like player like nameplates on the leaderboard or something like that, if we want to do kind of like a background for your profile. Because like if people want to like download your replay or something, we could have like a little pop-up player card, sort of I think what like kind of CSGO has in their menu, right, where it kind of shows like your name, your rank, and stuff like that. So like we can show off a lot more there too, like visually. But yeah, it'll be exciting, because like we can start to open more and more into cosmetics down the line too.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's something for like much later in development.
Yeah, it's 013. It's currently planned for like 013 if we have time. Otherwise, it'll be post 1.0, because as long as we have like the XP, we can always grant the currency later and then open the store, right, for people to unlock stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not really a main concern for getting 1.0 out so that everybody can play and enjoy it, but we do want to try to get the system spec'd out pretty soon, actually. I'd like to do a spec for it soon, which just means looking through all the requirements of it, seeing how we're going to implement it, API calls, stuff like that. Just like a lot of technical stuff. But once we get that in place, we can, And all of this is open, by the way. All of these like specs and stuff, if they aren't published yet, will be. We want to make sure that the entire community is aware of like our plans for the game, because again, we don't want to hide behind, you know, what we think is best. We can get input from players that might, you know, or people, for example, we have another team member, Rio, who's coming from traditional, you know, server hosting background and has done a lot of great work with like helping us spec out like zones and like you know, like requirements for like ranked runs and things like that, that we just, it's extremely valuable, and it's just going to make the platform even better in the long run.
Yeah. We've spent so long on that recently of just design stuff. It's been absolutely exhausting, to be honest, because we several design meetings like a week lately, and it's just just working on these enormous Google Docs and things. But it's something where, like, for things like the zoning refactor, which is what we're currently working on, like, we found that like we really need to sit down and really seriously think everything over, just because it's so complicated.
Because the game's scope has expanded significantly. I mean, even like from the year ago when we were last on here, right? Like we've kind of we've started to really nail down what we need to do, and starting to spec it out and getting that finalized to where we can start to really action on it. Because we've been on 09, right, for, you know, 15, or was it, 16 updates now. And right, like we're still working towards 010, but the moment that we get all of that in place and deployed, then that's 010, and it's another step. It's honestly probably going to be the biggest update since like until 1.0.
Yeah, by far.
For the game.
010's so annoying. It's so hard. It's been so much work.
Yeah. A lot of core systems being redone.
It's all this stuff, it's massively. It's essentially breaking loads of stuff at once and making sure when they get put back together, like everything makes sense. And it's just it's been so much work. Also, I just want to add that like we need to do like web systems and stuff that like are actually efficient and don't cost a ton of money, because we don't have like a massive budget and stuff like that. So yeah, putting a lot of time into that, and it really does take up a lot of effort.
We do accept donations to like just help out the dev team in anything we need, but
it's mainly for the team. We'll see
It's
how
not
bad
serious.
the hosting costs are. We're trying to be extremely efficient and frugal with how we host it, but to the point that we can scale. Because again, there's not, like, realistically, the only thing that is like the hardest thing to scale for our game is probably just going to be if a ton of people just start submitting runs, right? That's going to probably be the most compute heavy thing, right, that we have to worry about. But otherwise, it's pretty scalable. Like, I'm not too worried. I think we'll be able to handle like probably 10 to 20,000 concurrent on launch pretty easily. And then if it starts to explode or whatever, we can handle that too. But we'll see.
And then 20,000 is exploding for a game like this. 10k concurrent alone is a lot. And I mean, for us handling it, like, we probably can. But the thing is, if you have to do web stuff, like, scaling itself is expensive. Being able to scale costs loads of extra money. So for us, we have to think a lot about, okay, we need to be able to scale fast, but not in such a way that, like, oh yeah, we're going to pay Amazon $1 million a month to, like, use for serverless ECS.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
it's
probably a lot of
Do we want to move on? Are we running out of time? What's happening?
We're good on time, but yeah, I think we're in a good spot to move on.
Time
we've
for
got-
another defrag map, or move on to logic?
Do we want to showcase another defo, or do we want to move on? I don't know. We're kind of
it's
very
okay.
casual with our schedule here.
Then we
As you
good
can
to
see.
move on? We've lost track.
I think we've talked about defrag quite a bit, so I'm
Yeah.
good to do rocket jump now.
Do some RJ.
Yeah, I think people want the Relore cam. All right, we're going to a new map.
RJ is great fun to spec players that are really good, because it's a bit mind-blowing. Same with Sticky Jump as well. I mean, loads of these modes, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Christmas himself.
so the man of the hour is Relore. This is a really short map, so we can do a few runs on this as we talk. But this is Jump Alder, or RJ Alder, on Momentamod. This was a jam map. We had a jump jam, which is a kind of like competition, mapping competition, where a bunch of people in the community get together and spend 10 days to try and make a jump map in just those 10 days. And this was one of the maps that came out of that competition. Are we racing? Just 2 runs, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just
And this
watching.
is way too short. Yeah. And this is a tier 2, which is tier 2 out of 6 tiers. We're moving to 10 tiers soon, but this is a relatively easy, really fast speed run focused rocket jump map. You can see everything like kind of chains together really well. There's lots of ramps to like chain jumps together.
This is what's so great
Yeah.
about watching Rocket Jump, when you have really good connectors like this, so everything just flows smoothly.
Yeah.
I do just want to add real quick, like we've been talking about O10 and big updates. One thing that we are aiming for, and probably is going to be one of the biggest updates before 1.0, is finally getting rid of like the disgusting blue goo that rockets leave behind. We're going to do that at some point.
Yeah, with the
hate this
decals
decal.
on. Listen, it was a placeholder from like 4 years ago.
It did its job.
It'll get updated. I just have to spend like an afternoon and fix it.
These rockets. Like...
I think the
never hated
idea.
it 'cause it always reminded me of a skin that I actually used to use on my rocket launcher, like way back in the day.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, we talked about it a little bit, but Wolsk came from Rocket Jump way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of the reason why Momentamod is here at Fangames to begin with.
Yo.
Yeah, last year you asked if remember you came. I think you came to me and asked if you wanted like Jump to be around, and then I decided, well, why don't we just do all of Momentum? And
There's
now we have
a
this kind
lot
of
of stuff in this
tradition.
game, so
Yeah.
be ashamed to only show off like 10% of it.
Yeah, originally I contacted some.
There we go.
Oh, we're back.
It's like nothing ever happened.
We just had to take a quick break.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the things that they said during it, though.
Nasty thing.
Yeah. When you're moving this fast in Momentum, things happen.
Yeah, we're like
Should we
bending,
explain what
warping
RJ
space-time.
is, right? Did we even go over that when we started playing this?
I guess not.
No,
All
no,
right,
really.
so yeah, what rocket jump is? It's rocket jumping from the hit game Team Fortress 2 from 2007. This is basically just what you do as a soldier if you had infinite rockets and infinite health and like all the space in the world to jump around. A lot of people found rocket jumping to be like pretty fun, playing around on like 2.4, and years ago they decided to make rocket jump maps, and a lot of us gamers decided that was more fun than the real game. And so we just decided to keep making maps and playing them as fast as possible.
I mean, one thing that's interesting to note, right, is that I think, is it just rocket jump and sticky jumper modes that are sort of deliberate mechanics? In that Valve did intend for rocket jumping to be part of TF2 and sticky jump as well, and like, you know, they've acknowledged it by having like the rocket jumper weapon in TF2 and stuff, and
Yeah.
Walker and that lot were, you know, very familiar with this stuff, and I'm sure are happy that like TF2 involves rocket jumping as like a major mechanic.
Yeah, but I feel like the way that they intended rocket jumping to exist and the way it currently is of two very separate things, because
For sure.
to get like twice as much knockback, there's a bug in TF2. If you just crouch when you shoot yourself instead of stand up and shoot yourself, you take like twice as much knockback, and that was definitely not something they intended.
You think? Okay.
But it makes, yeah, like the animation for rocket jumping doesn't even play if you crouch. Yeah, the rocket jumping animation only plays if you press jump and shoot the floor. So yeah, they definitely like intended rocket jumping as a thing, but just not for it to be as strong as it is. And then thankfully they never actually fixed it, so that's good.
Yeah, especially for sticky jump. I mean, we'll get to it in a bit, but there's just so much that like works out magically that is kind of like uncanny, and I highly doubt that they ever like intentionally designed every type of like how well balanced sticky jump is for all of this mechanics.
I mean, a rocket jump is like, it's alright.
Yeah, sticky jumping back in the day was it was like when it was first being discovered, we didn't have any like fancy tricks or anything, and people were just like kind of figuring it out over time, and then a couple people just popped out of nowhere and were like, oh yeah, we're gonna revolutionize everything, and now people can fly.
Sure, and like just the depth of air pogo that it gives you, right? Of just like, there's so much to it. I mean, we'll get to sticky jump shortly, but
yeah. But this is a Jump Pow, a relatively new map, made by Alandi. It's really, really good.
How do you beat this?
Yeah, super pretty map, super well made, and it has a ton of really flowy sections in between all the jumps, and also the jumps themselves are really creative. I was playing it for the first time just a few hours before the stream, and I was really enjoying it.
Also, if you remember earlier, during defrag, one of them mentioned sinking, like shooting a rocket ahead of time and then catching up to it and using it. So that's an incredibly common thing in rocket jumping. So you'll see a lot of times they'll pre-fire a rocket and like catch it on the wall with another one, and that gives you stronger explosion because then you're using two rockets at once.
some of these like the wall sinks here are like kind of blow my mind. Like for me, I can beat like tier 2, sometimes 3 rocket jump maps, but like doing these like fancy wall sinks and stuff, like no, I'm so far beyond me. Like
yeah, I'll be surprised if I can beat the first stage or first section.
Yeah, this map is this is a tier 5, so it's quite a difficult map. A lot of these jumps, they seem like pretty simple or like straightforward, but you do need a lot of precision to actually like just to get the type of distance that you need off of these wall shots.
Look at that. That is not. That is hard. What you just did.
Yeah, so when we say tier 5, traditionally maps in Rocket Jump have been tiered on a scale from 1 to 6. So 5
like
is
Surf.
the second hardest. I think Surf has expanded to 8 tiers.
To 8
already,
now,
is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
We stole it from Surf though.
Yeah, we're not currently there in Rocket Jump and Sticky Jump. We've not managed to re-tier anything just yet, but
It'll come when momentum mapping becomes the norm.
Yes.
You can also see that Jump often has some inspiration from Surf with the way they use ramps. It originally was called jerfing, but I mean, not everything used as a jerf, but you put ramps like surfing and jump off of them, and it keeps your momentum.
Good example right there.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Jerf is just fun as well, though. I think like a lot of newer rocket jumpers just enjoy doing that because you get to go really
No.
fast.
Lord choked
That's
on
a
the
very
speed
unfortunate. There we go.
Double catch.
Yeah.
Alandi's taking the lead though. This is an Alandi map, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
Violandi.
Okay, so we see the author of the map currently in the lead.
Home territory.
Some might call it rigged.
Mapper playing their own map? What's wrong with it?
I mean, I did that just earlier, so.
I also do that very often.
Hey, I make maps that I enjoy. Of course I'm going to play them.
Exactly, right? People blaming us for playing our own maps and getting good times.
I still remember a really old TF2 map that it wasn't particularly good, and the maker of it hadn't beaten it and said, if I can beat it, it's too easy. It didn't turn out very well because of that.
Oh no.
That feels like
dangerous kind of thinking.
that's like half the surf maps released recently.
Let the shotgun for a sec.
I guess an important thing to mention is some of the things you can't actually shoot off of, some of them you
There
can,
you go.
and you can see a lot of the floors also will teleport you back, and that's like the main thing about jumping is avoiding the teleporting floors that send you back to the start of the jump. So if you don't touch the floor, you can keep yourself off of them with a rocket by bouncing above it. And that's, you know, the main thing. Every orange surface, from what I can tell, is a teleporting platform.
Yeah, there's a fine line between good detailing and clarity that you really have to tread when you're making maps for modes like rocket jump and sticky jump, because you need a consistent theme where it's obvious what you can stand on, what you can't stand on, what you can shoot, what you can't shoot, and that really limits like your detailing most of the time. So when a map does it well, like this map, it's really noticeable.
Lord, Porky, and Riot just finished the 3 horsemen of rocket jump. Alright, we can move on to Jump Hulk. So this coming map is a classic Hori map, tier 6. So this is one of the on the very high end of jump difficulty. You'll see a lot of tricky sync setups, all that on this.
We ready? Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I saw 2 people go before the countdown finished.
disqualified.
Disgusting. So does Riot have the world record? Did I hear you talk about earlier for this map?
I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with who has what right now. I just know Relord and Riot have both been taking tons and tons of maps. So let me just check.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this map is listed as tier 6. It's probably one of the easier tier 6s. It has a lot of cheats to make the jumps easier, so it's not as hard as initially thought.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, I think that jump that Miller just finished, or jump 5, that's like a pre-fire double onto like a double pre-fire on the wall, but you can do a triple there.
Is that a sync speed shot that he's doing there?
It sure looked like it.
I think so, yeah.
I think it was just a catch into a wall shot.
Yeah.
This one
Oh,
is
look at
pretty difficult. Timing needs to be quite precise.
that. That looks horrible. How do you
Yeah,
do
nice triple off the ramp, and then you need to double off the ceiling.
No, it's timing a sync like this. How does anyone do that? It's too hard.
Yeah, this is the
setting up-
hardest jump on the map. So once you do this, it should be
Yeah.
pretty smooth from here on out.
This is the stuff where like jump, and you get this in lots of modes where it just starts to seem kind of alien. Like, how are you doing this? Like, it just seems like getting the timing here must be so annoying.
It's just years and years of like building up consistency so that you can do every single
Yeah.
part like as best as you can all the time. And that's kind of the signature of tier 6 maps, where you just have to have an insane level of consistency in order to...
Oh,
Oh, this is the
cool.
cheese.
3 strat, but doesn't make it.
In case you can't tell quite what they're doing here, they're syncing up a double on the bottom and then catching with a triple on the wall while going up to give themselves more or less 5 rockets of speed.
I just checked. Vice actually has the world record on this map. I think I
pretty
remember seeing the record where he does a very, very funny run where he technically flawlesses the map, but does a bunch of funny saves.
So, is there a no fail of this map or no?
Technically, yes. It's not like
No
a super
fail in the
clean
sense
no
of
fail,
you hit
but-
none of the fail tallies, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's like using a ton of backup strats where you stop halfway and then cheat the rest. Which is
I don't-
technically no
yeah.
fail, but you know.
I don't know if there's an offline world record. There may be. Most times, people just look at either like run of the week or just Tempest, because that's where most speedruns are done in the community.
That's such a cool jump.
That speed shot though is just painful to watch because it's like if you played rocket jump, it's like speed shots like that are so hard. Like
That's
how-
not even a speed shot, that was a bounce.
That's a
yeah.
bounce into a
Bounce,
push
okay.
trigger, I believe.
Yeah, so
Something like that.
it's a weird mechanic where falling from certain heights, you can ignore a 1 unit thick teleporter that's on the floor. So if he mistimes that, he ends up hitting a teleporter on the floor and resetting the jump. But if he fires a rocket at the perfect time, the rocket hits him as he's landing, and then the game doesn't register that he's actually landed, so he just skips the teleport basically.
Yeah, for the
It's
I Wanna
very
Be the Guy
precise.
people, it's the equivalent of a bunny hop.
Yes.
This jump's just funny. It doesn't require much skill, but it's a cool jump. You just hold your left click button down and then the jump basically does itself.
Yeah, it pushes you down a rail and just at the perfect speed of your rocket, so you could sync up a bunch of rockets. That's the funny thing with
There we go.
I love this sound of it.
yeah. There's like some very slight rocket drifting if you're using the right-handed view model, because then the rockets come from the right side instead of like directly in the center, so they slightly drift off. It's like a really long distance.
Did Sergeant just win?
Oh my god, did Sergeant just take it?
Unfortunate.
That's actually a really good fight.
That's a good showing. Alright.
Is that all the RJ maps?
That's all the RJ maps. Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Okay.
Let's move on to Sticky Jump, my favorite game mode. So, it's SJ Achilles. It's next, which is another Jump Jam winner. Demo map. So yeah, I guess we should explain what Sticky Jump is as well. That's demo jumping in Team Fortress 2. Typically, you don't really do a lot of demo jumping in normal TFT games just because stickies do like way too much damage. But we figured out if you have infinite health and ammo, usually, Sticky Jump is really fun. You can do a lot of crazy things with it. Alright, they're just going. This is a tier 2, so as well, so this is really a short map. Guess we can just people do runs.
Exile's already yelled go in chat, so I assume people are racing.
Yeah.
Love just the squelching noises of hundreds of stickies.
Yeah, note about the sticky launcher, which maybe the audio you could hear earlier where it sounded like it was charging up. You can actually charge up the launcher, which sends it out faster, which doesn't really seem to be used that much in terms of jumping, but every once in a while.
For speedrunning, it's actually super useful because you can have better control of where your stickies can end up at certain basically like certain trajectories. So it can also help with setting up stickies earlier. So, oh no!
Okay, well, Zyke finished at least. We good? Oh, yeah, we're good.
Finish.
No worries.
It's like finish. Alright,
Do
good.
you want to just do another run on this map because it was very short, or
Yeah, you can just keep going,
yeah,
I guess.
just keep playing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
People know
map.
where the secret is. Maybe you can show off the secret.
Oh yeah.
This is a good secret.
Guess I could.
The thing with
Also
sticky jumping
play.
that makes it just so ludicrously hard is the just like getting your sticky to be exactly where you want, so you can like air pogo and stuff. It's just really hard. Just seeing people that like can perfectly air pogo or just like I don't know, where it just feels natural to them. Like it's just yeah, it upsets me to watch. They're too good at it.
This.
You really need to pay attention to your speed and every single angle as well.
Right,
Rather
yeah.
than you shoot.
Yeah, a lot of the balance with sticky jump is. Oh my god, why can't I do this? It's trying to like predict where you're going to be. I'm choking.
Yeah,
With all the stickies, so if you
Predict harder.
it's not hard. There you go.
Right.
Nobody.
I think there's a little crystal. You have to like shoot it or something.
Is that a player model?
It does look like one, but
Yeah.
I thought it was. Okay. Oh, yeah, it'd be nice when we actually have the third person playing models.
Yeah, I think a lot of people consider sticky jump like the hardest or one of the hardest game modes to get into, just because you're doing a balancing act of so many
Yeah.
different things, like the trajectory of your stickies, the timing, your position, how far away you are to the stickies. I am getting a JavaScript exception constantly.
Oh, nice. That's probably
it's
my
also
fault.
just like the
So
barrier of
fantastic.
entry to sticky jump is learning to pogo, which is where you hold yourself off the ground with like multiple bombs repeatedly
Yeah.
detonating below you, and that
Just
is pretty much the
pogoing.
main skill of sticky jump. Is you learn that, and then the next 400 maps you play is just doing that but better. So yeah.
Doing that in the air, doing that in tiny little crevices, doing that underwater. No, okay. But everything kind of just revolves around being fast with pogo. Yeah.
What?
Which again, the people who are really good can essentially just fly. If you have enough space, you can pretty much do whatever.
I'm getting stuck because of a JS exception.
Is it not okay? Like
Just
ignore.
click ignore all, yeah.
Oh, alright.
You don't need to read them. I know. It's
Just like Eula's.
yeah. Yeah, we at the moment we're working a lot on our zoning stuff and not thinking about UI too much. Once we get that done and O10 out, we'll go back and clean up the bloody UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what Riot's doing right now is a bonus jump. Like, a lot of people will add just fun little challenges to the end of the map that isn't included with the base map, but it's still a fun challenge once you've finished. Because this map's super easy, so why not just add something ridiculously hard at the end for the people that have
And we will
finished.
have bonus leaderboards in the future.
I'd assume completion bonus for bonuses as well. Like XP.
Ranked XP, I think I agree we are doing in some cases, but it's kind of complex. Like in some cases we may, like if a bonus is just like a horrible goblin bonus, which a lot of like jump bonuses are, I think. Like maybe the main track would be ranked, but the bonus wouldn't be. Just because like again, you don't necessarily want to like have to do this like horrible goblin bonus to like get optimal rank XP, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, most people that make bonuses just try and make some interesting gimmicky stuff that is fun, but isn't the most consistent.
A lot of that's why the zoning update stuff is so complicated, is figuring out like how we get like enough like fine-grainedness to like accommodate all this and not force people to like grind with horrible bonuses if they don't want to. Like they'll still have a leaderboard, right? They just won't get the XP.
Alright. I think we can move on to artificial now. So this is a tier 5. Kind of a lengthy map. Made by Captain.
Sounds.
It's like absolutely starting before the timer.
It's like Sticky Launcher doing funny things in spec for anyone else.
More funny thing. Oh, it's spinning a lot for me.
Yeah, it's spinning a lot. Don't think anyone else's is. Yeah, it's just like maybe he's got some weird binds.
Yeah, it's like fault.
It's like it's not networking the minus attack press, it's just networking the plus attack press. Everyone else's is fine. Odd.
So now you get to experience what it looks like for a demo man to actually be able to fly, because it's far more about air pogoing.
This is so hard. Like, it's so hard.
It looks so easy when you spec somebody good at it, but it is insane.
There's just so many variables involved. Like, there's like your player speed, and then like the angle you're firing at, and when you dare, and it's like.
And the amount you've charged your sticky bomb.
Yeah.
And there's also crouched versus uncrouched, which affects how far they send you.
Like getting the sticky bomb to be where you want in the air, based on like the speed you're currently moving at, is so difficult. And trying to do that with multiple stickies at a time, and then like do these like double catch sinks or whatever they are, like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, it's so nice to
I
watch
do
as
something
well.
fancy there.
They're literally doing E equals MC squared in real time.
I remember last
This-
time we talked about like third person. That's still something you don't want to put in, yeah.
Let me hit the strat. Let me hit the strat.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
some
that's-
TF2 servers allow you to go third person and it kind of makes stuff easier. For us, it's
Oh
like
no.
a gimmick too far than just setting the standard that no one gets to do it.
There we go.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, ooh. Crispy. But you're doing these like air poggers so effortlessly, and it's so hard what he's doing. Like,
Another triple. It's insane.
Yeah,
if
and
you're
if you
familiar with TF2 jumping, you'll know that 3 stickies has a tendency to kill you, but because Momentum Mod doesn't have any health, it's pretty safe to do that, so... There's going to be some different strategies used in Momentum compared to TF2 sticky jumping, but we're not trying to make the game 100% one-to-one, we just want to make the best game we can, while still keeping mostly true to the original modes.
and I mean stuff like the triple pre-debate. Like basically everyone was completely in agreement there, and everyone is completely happy with the solution. So yeah.
to be fair, I do go for that strat in TF2.
You just die
With the
50% of the time.
I die a few times. It's worth the risk, you know. All in the name of time save.
Good attitude and momentum, not other aspects of life.
Okay. This is a god strat. No, I can't hit that.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
Oh, so this is a very kind of classic air pogo then, right? This kind of
This is called a recovery, because you recover going down with going forward.
So common, in fact, it has a name.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
it's
Riot.
usually something you don't intentionally do. It's when you mess up and then have to recover. Because if you mess up your air pogo, you're going to start falling down. So then you recover by converting that downward speed into horizontal speed.
Choking.
It plays 8 stickies down. That's actually not a thing you can do in this game mode because it limits you to 3 in Momentum Mod.
Yeah.
Though, as much as I do love seeing like Lil Timmy 99 like on some TF2 server with his Judas on, you know, jumps server for the first time and just places 8 stickies down, debts, dies, or just flies into the ceiling, I guess. If you got...
Yeah. The trade servers would go hard with that.
I think it used to be the sticky jumper weapon in TF2, right? You could do like 8 stickies with it.
Yeah.
You just see like just random little kids
You just teleport.
flying into the skybox.
Now we're on to the last jump. This is what we call a vert because it's vertical air pogo. And then you need to transition it into a horizontal air pogo at the top, which is pretty tough.
Oh, there goes Wells.
Does he choke?
I'm choking.
He choked.
Oh,
Shouldn't have said anything. It's fine, Riot doesn't choke. We made
There
it.
we go. I mean,
Very nice. And he doesn't even hit the beam, jump into the capture point. That's how you know he's a champion gamer.
Yeah, so again, this is what was mentioned about like you really need to know your exact speed. So for verts, you pay attention to how much you're slowing down to know when you're going to catch up to the stickies. Do you actually like watch the numbers at all, False?
You always watch the number.
I do, yeah.
Pretty
You
much
can
everyone
kinda
is
feel
not
it
looking
out.
at the screen, they're just looking at the number.
Got it.
Especially there's something called charged airboat or charged vert, which is it's a lot harder. You can still use the numbers to like guide you, but it's a bit more ambiguous, and it's also much faster and much harder. Where you can oh, there's like coming along. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to move on to the final SJ map?
All right, sure.
He's like found a way to get cosmetics early. Has to stand out, so he has a sticky jumper going.
So this is Dirty X Wheezy, which is about a decade-old map made by Shunix, who's normally known for soldier mapping. Yeah, Dirty X Wheezy, old jumper name, but much before my time.
Somewhere in the middle of my time.
Probably, actually, yeah. This map was made in 2014, so. But it's quite fun to run. It's just a lot of quick jumps in succession. And they're pretty fun. A lot of like tight little air pogos on this map. This is a tier 6 as well. You'll be seeing why near the end.
Oh, he's been griefed by the sloped ceiling. Happens to the best of us. And here's using a Momentum Mod exclusive strategy of shooting 360s down and just cheating the jump. It's a classic. Okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to just descend by placing multiple stickies below you on the way down. Yeah. Probably because he's done that for 3,000 hours longer than just putting 3 on the floor.
3,000 hours on this map. Yeah, we should maybe tone down the ticking sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's constantly spinning. It shouldn't be doing that, and it's only happening on Zyke, so we'll have to ask him what he's got going on with his config.
Oh, look at that. That's so nice.
I'd assume some people have wondered to some extent if the entire mod is supposed to be free the whole time, or if you have any sort of plans to monetize outside of course, you said donations.
Yeah, so I'll speak to that. Yeah, so we are legally obligated to keep the game free with our agreement with Valve. It was kind of part of the deal of being a source mod. Back in the day, you had to pay like $50,000 to monetize it. But at the same time, right, I wouldn't want to make the game paid. I feel like there shouldn't really be a barrier to entry to like play the game and all of its modes and all of its maps. If we were to ever monetize, it would be purely cosmetic or something like that, or maybe even like statistical analysis stuff, like you could subscribe to like a service or something. And well, we'd see, but like for now, everything we plan to make completely free and just donation based. If you like what the team is doing and want to support us making the game, you can donate to us on our Open Collective. We will also plan to have our OST for our original campaign at 2.0 for sale, so you could pay what you want there, or stream it on Spotify or whatever. And then also merch. We will have merch. We're allowed to do that. But we can't make anything in the game paid. Like everything in the game has to be for free as part of our legal agreement. So that's why I was saying like, oh, maybe like, a subscription service for our website, right? Like, because that's not technically the game.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Some extra stuff, but it's like,
yeah. Yeah, so it's not really worth it. Plus, we'd hope that donations would be probably enough to cover any costs, assuming that we do our deploys correctly and not on AWS costing us billions of dollars.
Right, yeah. The thing for us is hosting. I mean, we give so much thought to it at the moment, and like in terms of the O10 will have better metrics and stuff, but like we do expect to be able to keep server costs really pretty low for the amount of stuff that like the amount of players we expect to support at once. By having not a super expensive API, not doing loads of like we don't have like these centralized game servers. Steam does all the multiplayer stuff for us, so like there'll be costs, but yeah, it's sort of manageable. Also, given that we're like partly open source, we get a lot of nice stuff for free from different companies and stuff. So
yeah.
All right. We've got a few people finishing up on this map. I think we can move on to Gocnak, your game mode.
Oh baby.
So,
I'm down.
you want to show off some A-hop canals?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. All right.
Maybe a little history lesson too.
yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for coming along to the jump segment.
It'll be hard for me to
the stupid mode segment.
Oh yeah.
You want me to play and you talk, or I can talk you play?
We can trade
not
off.
for a bit,
I
so,
do
yeah.
want to play it for a bit, but yeah.
I feel like you should introduce it, given your involvement with HRC speedrunning.
Yeah, so if anybody in chat has heard of this little indie game called Half-Life 2, I used to play it a lot back in the day. So much so that I was pretty much like the world record holder in like the speedrun for it or something like that. It was pretty cool. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a huge part of my kind of like source like speedrunning. Like I did that before I really did like, surfing or anything. I mean, I probably did surfing a little bit, but yeah. So it's accelerated hop. That's what it stands for. It's not like an alternate mode of alternate B hop or whatever. And the way that it works is that when Half-Life 2 released back in 2004, the way that you could move in the game was you would just hold W and repeatedly jump to gain speed. Kind of like defrag, sort of. But yeah, you would hold W and gain a bunch of speed. And Valve saw that and was like, okay, that's not good. Let's patch it. So every time you jump now, it subtracts speed. So like if you hold W and try to jump, it'll subtract a little bit of speed. But it's based on where you're looking. So if you turn around or hold backwards, right? It's based on like the wish direct, like wish in the calculation for it. So when you jump backwards or hold backwards when you're jumping, as you can see in the key press when you're watching Tom here, it adds speed. So it subtracts a negative speed every single time, and it's scaling based off of how fast you're going because they wanted to do kind of like a was it weaning you off of the speed that you have as opposed to just fully outright setting you back to
where am I going?
But yeah, and so you can gain a lot of speed really quickly. And so I'll move over to this map. This is actually the entire canals section from Half-Life 2. If you remember, there's an airboat that you're supposed to take. However, in the speedrun and in this map, obviously, you don't actually. It's much faster to go on foot and to swim and to go very fast and try to maneuver through all of the garbage that is canals. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really nice because this is what Momentum's like really all about. Is like you can kind of take these like known maps or it doesn't have to be something that was like user created. It could be Valve created maps, and we've edited them to remove all the story elements, all the entities, so it's just the layout. And so you can just grind and speed run just the canals section. We do have a coast map as well, which we could play after this too to show it off a bit. But Yeah, and it's just really, really honestly, it's like it's exciting. It's exciting to see this because it's all in one map. You don't have to worry about, because when you normally play Half-Life 2, this is split up into like 12 different maps. So because of all the entities and all the other stuff that we just straight up removed, right? And then even then, we probably could keep in our BSP with the new format that we have. But yeah, so this is AHOP at its best, and so you can just kind of see like Tom here jumping around and like using the displacements. Yeah, displacements are unfortunately very inaccurate for collision.
You can kind of learn them and know like what parts of displacements are gonna screw you over, but yeah, I'm doing this slowly. In a regular HR2 run, you cannot do this. You will die in the goo, but momentum, no health. This is quite depressing. Cut the stream. Cut the stream.
The walk of shame.
Yeah. Get it under like pixel line out where you look at the boat or whatever. But yeah, this map is AHOP is pretty jank because there's all this like weird key pressing and mouse movement, and then displacements make everything especially jank. That being said, you can still get consistent with this map relatively and do fun runs of it, but I'm awful.
Seems like so much of AHOP is learning to like control your speed and like, because it's so easy to just get max val.
Keeping control is hard.
Yeah.
We should honestly just watch the world record replay.
You're in jail.
I mean, I am not a particularly good AHOP player. I don't think we may have someone in game who's better than me. But yeah. But I mean, the replay of this, it really is worth watching. It's a couple of minutes, but I mean, it's beautiful. Just how good AHOP can be when you're good at it.
I'm just interested to see where the mode goes in like the next couple of years after the game comes out, because the mode is basically brand new, right? There's not really any content for this outside of Momentum Mod, apart from the Half-Life 2 campaign. So yeah, it should be really cool to see what people actually end up making for it.
Have to make pretty big maps.
Yeah, well,
thankfully that's not a problem anymore.
I mean, this map would not exist without the map size limit increases because it's so hard to fit everything into the old limits. Okay, am I going to get chili launched? No. Wait, how do you do it?
Go backwards.
Oh my god, I got it!
Oh!
Go!
Oh,
that was all my advice.
Did you talk about the difference between ABH and ASH?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm talking now, so essentially, AHOP is sorry, I'm pushed them. AHOP's full of these ways of changing your. Someone's suggesting climb high tower as a way of showing off map limits. You got to convince the game that you're going backwards, right? And so one way you can do it is just straightforwardly jumping backwards. I guess given how slow this is, I'll do a little showcase. Here's just jumping backwards, right? I'm just turning around, jumping back, doing that. Then there's side hopping, which is this, where I'm sort of looking at this weird angle and holding S and A there, or S and D. And that way you can, it's just another way of like the wish deer or whatever ends up in a sort of, no, not the, anyway, it works. And forward hopping is you tap S, basically. So you just hit S as you're on the ground. However, that does slow you down quite significantly. But then there's also plus strafe, but I hate plus strafe.
We won't get into plus strafe. This is the whole debate.
Yeah, this is a horrendous run, but we should just. It'd be nice to see Nick play actually. Maybe Spec Nick. I guess. I'm just embarrassing myself at this point. I've lost. Like, okay, I'll try to do this.
Just roll the demo.
Roll tape. Roll the tape.
Roll tape. Yeah.
Get the pre-recorded gameplay out.
Yeah.
Which we do
no,
have, I guess.
I guess I'm nearly there.
This was quite awesome.
Finish the run.
If you don't do it.
The worse you are, the more you swim. Get stuck on things.
Limping to the finish line.
Yeah. I mean, this is in Half-Life 2 in Boatless. This is, I hate Boatless. It's so hard doing this in a Half-Life 2 speedrun. It comes
At least
up
you get
about,
save
like,
states.
half an hour in, and yes, you do. That's true. So if you screw up, you can just go back to where you were. But
Whereas in
that's,
this, you have to be perfect the entire way, otherwise.
Oh, Ninja
you just have
Cookie's
to
here.
swim for
Oh my
6
Ninja
hours.
Cookie's
Ninja's
here.
Really good.
Alright, get Ninja, get Ninja.
Someone competent. Wait, I'm nearly at the end.
I don't know if Ninja's played canals much though.
I think she has.
She's got seconds by
okay.
Horrible one.
14
Yeah, Ninja.
seconds.
But canals is sort of inherently difficult. Like you do get just so many.
Watch
scrubs.
Ninja, watch Ninja.
Still looks far more fun to do this
Are you
than
watching me?
getting the boat over the whatever prop.
Yeah, damn jump.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God,
When
yeah.
you watch someone who just like effortlessly plays AHOP after
Yeah.
knowing how
I've
difficult it
forgotten
is
me.
to control, this is just like fascinating and just jaw dropping.
Yeah.
It's just
The heck was
it,
that
it feels
laser?
so elegant.
This
Oh,
is the
it's
thing.
almost
Ninja,
right
Ninja
off.
just has so much consistency in her movement
Yeah.
as well. It's just like, yeah, it's insane. But I mean, I really would encourage watching the world record as well, just because seeing a good run of this map is really something else.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of this map, right? Like Ninja's really consistent, but like you just fly into stuff all the time. Yeah, this is Dirt. Sure, I'll find Dirt's actual Half-Life 2 run.
And the great thing about AHOP is that like a lot of the other game modes have kind of existed for 15 plus years, but AHOP, I mean, outside of Half-Life, which
Yeah,
it does
old.
get a lot of, yeah, there are like runners of Half-Life who are very good with AHOP, obviously, but there are a lot of, pretty much everyone who is getting into it who hasn't played Half-Life are just new to AHOP entirely, and a lot of people have been getting really, really good at it. Basically, just of it being a completely new game mode.
Has it gotten some new people into running Half-Life?
I'm not too. I think maybe a few people. It'll be interesting to see if there's more crossover in the future. Keep in mind that like Half-Life has health and scroll hopping. There's no auto hop in Half-Life, which is quite difficult to go back to.
Oh, so this does have auto hop. Gotcha.
Yeah. But also, yeah, Half-Life 2 is a run. There's a lot in it, like besides just movement. I mean, there's boatless and coaster to the stuff from Half-Life 2 we ported, but if you want to do Half-Life 2 runs, you know, you're doing like prop clips and wall climbs and horrible stuff like what's it called, Bill's Big Thrill, and yeah. Half-Life 2 run is actually like, it is a great speedrun. If you've not seen Half-Life 2 speedruns, I highly recommend it. But yeah, just to point out, so Dirt Shear is ranked 6 in the world in HF2.
This is the run. Never mind.
Oof. Why did you have to do that? Cursed us. Gosh.
But I mean, to some extent with AHOP, like we'll definitely see some like really, really good runs of this in the future, but like you kind of need to task AHOP to see it done like perfect. It's just with a map like this especially. I mean, there's so many different ways to go wrong that like.
Yeah.
Is there more stuff you intend to add or change about AHOP, or is it at this point just, you know, getting maps for it?
Well, let's not talk about plus drive.
Yeah.
We're basically gonna have plus drive. Like, don't worry. But yeah, mainly.
There was some discussions about potentially adding, the SMG nade.
I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of it, some of the boosts, you know, in HR2 run are, you know, like weird prop physics things, like we are never doing. We're hopefully getting rid of V physics entirely, like, you know, yeah.
Do we want to do one more AHOP map?
I mean, we do have.
Conk?
We've got 20 minutes left, and we probably want to do like a 5-minute end bit. I don't know. Maybe just move
Yeah.
on top. Just want to do more A-Hop? I don't know. A-Hop is slightly the ugly duckling of the most.
It would be
Yeah,
cool
like,
to
yeah,
show
well,
off like
Should we
some of
do one more-
the
yeah,
community
let's do
maps.
one more map that's not a HL2
Just just a quick one. Yeah, yeah. I think forward, right?
Forward's great, yeah, forward's really
Yeah, it's also quick. I think.
It's also quite hard, so we might be seeing some struggling for a while.
That's what we have. World record replays.
Well, yeah, well,
Got to.
Ninja has world record on forward. Ninja can do forward well. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, talking about things that intend to be added, is there any like specific stuff on the pipeline that you're able to share about like the various game modes that you want to get in?
I'm excited for the trick mode. We joked about tricks, which is a separate thing. That requires multiplayer synchronization, but the trick mode is going to be like this mode that kind of goes over on top of all of the existing like maps in the game, and then we can also introduce more. But it's the idea behind it is that it's not a set like a mapper set start and end zone. It's more of like you have triggers all around a map, and you can just kind of define your own path through. It's almost more arcade or like kind of like, you know, it's more of like a Tony Hawk's kind of like you basically, yeah, you set like the main mode that kind of I guess exploded for it was Trick Surf, but we're going to design that system to allow or like apply it to pretty much every mode. So having like Trick A Hop, Trick B Hop, but having like this Trick sub mode for all of these modes, where you can just you can go back to your fan favorite maps and do a really hard challenge on it, kind of like how bonus stages are, but like this would be on top of every map, you know, like its own kind of its own leaderboards, and just a more general kind of fun way to play, or a new way to play, right? A lot of existing content, but also just like seeing what kind of like tricks come out of that, you know.
Though in most cases, and you know, historically with Trick Surf, they're on combat surf maps. So a lot of surf originally started off playing, you know, you have guns and stuff and you shoot one another. Skill surf is kind of, you know, a genre of surf in a way. And a lot of maps are like Sky World and Great River and Japan, like really, really old maps that are, you know, designed to like play around in and like shoot each other and have like jails and stuff and whatnot. Those maps work really well where you can just put a bunch of triggers everywhere and just, or zones, whatever you want to call them, and just sort of go between them, and like a trick is just going between a bunch of those zones on a map like that. So Surf Sky World is like the classic, but there's a bunch of classic surf maps that do that. So with those, we will have to add those maps, I guess, specifically for the trick mode. But hopefully, a lot of existing maps, tricks will kind of work on those, and maybe we get people making, you know, a map specifically made for like trick jump, as in like, or trick rocket jump, you know, trick sticky jump, trick A-hop, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's also just really good for multiplayer. Like if you want to just hang out with friends in a lobby, like the tricks modes are going to be really good for that. Just to sort of.
I'm also excited, speaking of kind of like hanging out with lobbies, I'm excited for the roaming lobbies and dedicated lobbies, and then eventually clan support, with having kind of like you can join one clan at a time or something like that, and you can, like, as part of a clan, you can have like a stake, right? Like a clan can have like a stake on a map of like how many of its members completed it or have like better ranks. And you can like induce like clan wars of like different clans, like inviting different clans to attack each other on leaderboards and stuff like that. We can do like tournaments. I'm excited for the tournament side of things, not just the official Momentum ones, but like the community being involved with all of that, and hosting their own too. And just like I'm really excited to see how far the game can go in terms of just like being this, I guess, like really nice welcoming platform for a lot of people to get into the modes, but also like find a community to kind of like, you know, make friends and like see, you know, like, because it is an inherently lonely game. You don't have to play with other players, but like all of the features I'm really pumped about are like all of these like, oh yeah, like other players involved. Because like, I mean, you could go for personal bests and stuff, which is, I guess, the root of the game, is like bettering yourself, but like having just, I don't know, like having a sense of community on top of that, and just all the features related to that is just really exciting.
I mean, really, that's the reason I stayed with TF2 and jumping for so long is because of the community, and it makes like a huge difference. That and modding support.
Yep. Yeah, we're really aiming to make our Hammer, our modding tool. Well, right, like you can't really mod Momentum to like add new modes yet, but maybe down the line with 2.0 we might have a scripting system for that and stuff like we're we want to get the core of the game in place, and then all of the fun features around it, and then start to kind of open it back up. I mean, it'd be nice to open source things again if Valve would let us. So that's something that we're still gonna try to do, especially as Source 2.
They'll never let us.
We'll see, but yeah.
And then you had also mentioned a campaign mode. So is the plan just to like combine all the different mechanics into a story of some kind, or?
We'll keep the mode separate, but there will be a story on maps for the existing mode.
Exactly, yeah. The story is more of a kind of like discover it if you want to sort of thing, like where it's more like environmental storytelling combined with like maybe some like audio, or like I don't know if we'll have like full animations or anything like that, but like we'll have a story for sure, and we'll tie in and kind of make like make things try to make a little bit of sense, or explain exactly what's happening. But I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to just have like that, and then the speedrun mode for it, where after you beat it the first time, it unlocks the speedrun mode, which you can just repeat from the start over and over again. It won't save any progress. And yeah, I'm really excited because that's something that servers can never offer, right? Like over like a standalone game like this is like, like having a dedicated experience to these modes, not only getting you into the modes, integrating some of the learn section into a tutorial, right, to get to the hub world, and having 5 worlds there and like going through all those, which ramp up in difficulty. We can even have like a hard mode DLC and stuff. Like we have a lot of stuff planned like that down the line. But yeah, right now our focus is on 1.0. So the campaign's more of just sitting in the background waiting until 1.0, because I think once we release, that'll also bring a lot of attention to the team, and that can like lead to people wanting to join and help out with it.
It's just so much work that we couldn't like focus on it right now. Plus 1.0 stuff, right? Right, I'm just gonna steal the train of conversation. Should we move on to Conk real quick? We've got about 10 minutes left. We probably want to do 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Oh, Ninja's just about to finish.
Oh,
I just clutched it in. There we go.
Nice one.
All right. Well, let's show off a bit of Conk. All right. Which map did you want to go to? Gen Warfare. All right. Someone want to introduce what the heck Conk is?
So, Conk is a game mode from Team Fortress Classic. So, the original Team Fortress before Team Fortress 2. It's based on the concussion grenade from that game, where the medic and scout class had a grenade on a roughly 4-second timer that for some reason gives you more knockback the further away from it you are. So you want to be hitting the explosion radius right on the outer edge to get the maximum amount of boost, and that adds like a really cool level of complexity. But like I said, the grenades are on a roughly 4-second timer, so you don't actually choose when they explode, you just have to predict where you're going to be 4 seconds in the future. So it's pretty complicated. But once you figure out the rhythm, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, some people draw some similarities between Conk and demo jumping or sticky jumping, because there's a lot of like predicting in the future and balancing a projectile that you throw or like shoot.
Yeah, I was just about to say that earlier. Someone had mentioned that they feel like Demo Man is the hardest to get into. I feel like Conk has always seemed the hardest to get into to me.
Conk is also very difficult.
Conk's probably like the most picked up weapon mode outside of the other modes, right? Like a lot of
surprising amount of people do
Conk
like it.
Have got pretty good at it. Yeah, like
yeah.
As far as the weapon modes go, it's for some reason people just sort of gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
It's got a really nice base movement. I mean, TF2 and Sorry, the TF2 based modes, so Rocket Jump and Sticky Jump both have. They don't have B-Hop, and like you have less air Exile, and it's a bit. Conk is sort of floatier because it's based on TFC movement.
Yeah.
It's got this sort of really nice, sort of floaty, sort of B-hopping that's really satisfying.
Yeah, it's got the really satisfying surf kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's a sort of funny middle ground between a lot of different modes. We are interested in adding a Half-Life 1 Gold Source style B-Hop sub-mode at some point. I mean, it is really, really fun and satisfying. Right now, our sort of main goal for B-Hop is CSS-based B-Hop, but we are keen on it. But it's also great. Conk is just so old, and like it's just
Sorry, I was
gonna say
laughing
that,
at what lack of a wet bird fight in the chat. That's big goals for Conk.
We do hope to have a Momentum mod added GDQ potentially, like when the game's out, and potentially with with a campaign that we go through or just showcasing. But yeah, we did show off Conk last year with Amp, who's he like one of the best Conk jumpers, if not the best.
Easily the best, yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff he pulled off was insane.
Alright. Nice clean completion by Zach.
To Conk Ash.
Out of curiosity, is
Alright.
the code base in the game made in a way that you could technically combine game modes, or are they kind of kept separate?
They're kept pretty separate right now.
They didn't used to be.
Yeah,
No, that was a big refactor.
yeah, it was
Shout out to
really
Rio.
gross. Yeah, big shouts to Rio, because there was a lot of work to be done of like separating out. Yeah, like Kong was just added, I think, on top of like a code or something. Yeah, it was really bad. But like down the line, we do want to add mode mixing, kind of like Halo custom game style,
Yep.
where you can have like the different aspects in homemade mode, so you can kind of mess around with maps like that.
But the fact that like so many of these modes work when they're just these weird random mechanics that have end up having so much depth to them should make you pretty like curious as to whether like loads of variations end up working, you know? Like, and so I love the idea of being able to really mix and match stuff and like sort of try to find stuff that works really well, like mechanics that like actually feel like perfect. Because like most of these modes just aren't designed right to be like they are. They just sort of happen to be fun.
Yeah, I've always been really curious about what it would feel like to do jerfing with like actual surfing. So
it's kind of dumb actually. Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of servers that used to run that setting back in the day, and it's really odd.
we have a sort of unknown game mode internally that, like, if you spawn in a map that doesn't have a prefix on or isn't from the map selector, it's basically B-Hop with every weapon, so you get the TF2 rocket launcher. So it's kind of fun. It is enjoyable, but it's very sort of, I don't know, hectic.
It doesn't really add much though, is the problem, because
Yeah.
you can only get an extra like 100 units or something off the end of a ramp, compared to just flicking off it like you do in regular surf. It's an odd balance.
I mean, we could maybe just up the max val of the map and just let the runner just die of stress trying to play it.
add quad rocket launcher.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've always said,
Quad rocket launcher.
I think if Rocket Jump had like 20% extra knockback, it would be perfect.
Okay. And no wall pogo.
No,
Yeah,
make
no
that.
wall pogo.
No wall pogo. Yeah,
With
exactly.
20% more knockback, you wouldn't have wall pogo anyway, so it's perfect.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
You know
Is
what?
Team
I
Fortress
want...
Classic rocket jumping something you've considered before?
I think it's quad.
Yeah, quad
Or-
rocket is
Oh,
a
okay.
thing
That's
that
what
might be a sub mode in the future if we can figure out the values for it. And
Yeah.
you know, it's a bit of a pain because you'd think that porting gold source maps to regular source would be really easy, but it's actually way harder than porting Quake
Yeah.
3 maps to source for some reason.
So,
So
Source is a really weird engine and
yeah,
lost, isn't it? Does a gold source really even exist anymore? I don't have it. Yeah.
I don't think Valve has it.
It's one of the stretch goals for the BSP convert tool that Panzer and I have been working on. Is after we finish the Quake 3 to source conversion, we want to look into gold source to source conversion, but I don't know how easy that's going to be.
I think the BSP format's somewhere on. It might not be on VDC because that's just source, but I think somebody documented the logs.
Someone understands it out there, I think, because there's some not just decompilers, but there's tooling that does some fancy stuff with BSP. So BSP gold source. But I mean, gold source movement is really great. Like, the floatiness of it is so satisfying.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof. Oh, that was a close one.
Nice. Really well done. Alright,
Wow. GG.
that's Conk.
With
We
that.
had one tiny little thing to show off. Kind of a hidden map, a hidden game mode. Just as the cherry on the top to this segment. If Exile, you wanna. So
We don't have long. Let's just do the one.
you just do the one I sent you. So Ninja Cookie on our team has made some funny has made some things with our scripting power. Momentum
This-
only.
This is a game mode we're contemplating adding.
Yeah, so you ever heard of balloons? It's been really popping off lately. And I feel like we would be remiss to not kind of like tap into that
We wouldn't.
community. I think there's a lot of overlap,
We
right?
wouldn't be remiss.
So yeah, you can you got waves
Uh-oh.
of dev blocks, and you can put in these little guys. They're called yees. If you ever watched Truck Drunk. Oh no! Oh no! They're missing.
He's got the 200, or she's got the 200 in.
Yeah, I think Source Engine tower defense is what people have been asking for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is all done through entity logic in Hammer. This is nothing that.
No,
Momentum
it's
Mod's
not
doing.
even rescripted.
No, it's like
Entity
just
IO.
Oh, is it not?
This is momentum entity. Oh, yep.
Oh, this is so good. So yeah, as we were talking about like custom community game modes in the future.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think we got space for a tower defense category.
Yeah, and this is the sort of thing that like really benefits us from being single player forward, is we can get maps with complicated entity logic that will just work because everything's running locally rather than on a server. So we're not looking specifically into having maps like tower defense, but you can have some interesting puzzle maps with some cool moving
Yeah.
parts.
Do you want to show the other one?
I mean, we've just come up on estimate.
Yeah, Wolsk. Would you be cool if we had one little bit of extra?
I
How
mean,
about
I'm intrigued at this point, so.
All right, I guess so.
Oh.
Pac-Man. This kind of speaks for itself. Do we want to do our sort of outro as we?
Yeah, we could do it. This is all in Momentum Mod, by the way.
It's all brushes and
Oh my god. It works. Alright. Yeah, so thank you for having us, Wolsk,
Of
in your
course.
segment again. Always a pleasure. I guess for shoutouts, I'll just shout out my proverbial couch. Thank you everyone for coming along and commentating and being here and helping me out organizing.
And obviously every other Momentum team member who's not been here and other contributors.
Absolutely.
If
The
you
game
want to
is-
follow the project, the best way is probably to join our Discord. Discord.com/momentummod, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the URL? Yeah.
Or .gg. It's whatever. Yeah, the invite code is Momentum Mod, all one word. So I'll link it in chat.
And yeah, all community projects, if anyone's wanting to get involved, we're really looking for new texture artists, animators, and web developers at the moment, but there's sort of always areas that like competent people can get involved. It's sort of how I got involved with the project, so yeah.
There's always some place to hop out at, yeah, if you're keen.
And last thing I was going to say was we've not been doing key drops just so we don't get key beggars all the time, but there's 5 momentum keys in Steam library.
So if you're interested in it, go grab one now before they're gone immediately.
Before the bots swoop them up.
Nice.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was great, guys. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we move on to the next round?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's been good
It's
fun.
always a good time showing off
You're
the game.
always welcome back.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Next year with the legs on the shapes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
We're gonna do some leg
Just the
days.
legs.
All right, well, I guess we will transition it over to the next game. Thank you all for being here. It was a lot of fun, and we hope everyone enjoyed watching that.